Welcome, everybody. As you can probably see from the title, this is going to be a deeper video. It contains the death of Technoblade and my personal feelings and regrets that I have. I know this is 3 years later, but I still think this is a personal video that I have to do, because maybe some of you can relate to what I'm saying, and it's just a personal video for me that I want to do this for myself and for other people. And to start it all off, some people are probably gonna say, oh, you do it for the clout or whatever, but I know my intentions are pure, and if you relate to what I'm saying, then that's the way it is. I'm not using him for clout or anything. Why would I? I'm just trying to keep his memory alive. So let's get into it. I wrote down a few topics, like the main topics that I wanted to talk about are my regrets and my feelings and how I got to know him, or how I got to discover his channel. My first regret is not donating to him, hence I was never able to join the Discord that he had with his donators. They did make it into a museum right now, if I'm not mistaken. I am in that now, but it would have been nice to, experience it while he was alive and being part of it. So yeah, I kind of regret that. So another regret is me, that I skipped some of his streams due to school or whatever, because I always thought, oh, he'll always be here, rather than me just being there while he was alive. I know it's probably not something I should regret, because I didn't have a choice, I had school, so, but I still regret that. Also, one of my very, very big regrets is that I did not write in the Hypixel books, because when I heard about his death, at the time I didn't even know Hypixel did that, because I just distanced myself from the internet afterwards, after I saw his video, because it was just painful to me. But we're gonna get into the feelings later. But I do regret not having written in those. So yeah, that's why I regret not even writing into the book, because it just feels like I didn't support his family, which is stupid to think, but it's still a regret that I have. Now we go on to the feelings. I have a lot of those, actually. I'm gonna start with sadness, though, because that's the main feeling I had, actually. I felt sad because he was gone, and it took me almost half a year to actually accept that he is gone and he's, not coming back. It also took me so long to be able to talk about him without crying, because every time I would speak, I would get a lump in my throat and I would be like, I cannot talk about this because it's gonna make me too emotional. Then we also have the shame part, which is basically just me feeling shameful of feeling sad and grieving, despite not even having known him in real life and, never spoken to him personally. I know it's understandable to feel sad and grieve someone that you didn't know personally, but I still feel the shame because I feel like I'm not supposed to grieve him like I knew him personally. But that's just my opinion on that. Then we move on to the guilt. I feel guilty also for not participating more in his chat and channel, because I just didn't think he would be gone so quick. I thought he would always be here, so I always was like, okay, I don't have to, don't have to interact. Even if it was he wouldn't have read my message anyway, because, he has countless of messages in his live chat, but it still makes me guilty. And again, that I didn't write the note for his family from Hypixel, which in hindsight, I didn't even know about it, that it happened, until it was over. So I'm not supposed to feel guilty about that, because it's not directly my fault that I didn't do that. So yeah. Regardless of his death, I still feel weirdly enough happy and relieved that I could experience him while he was still alive. And being there, seeing how he got successful and seeing him laugh and happy with his friends, whether those turned out bad. Because in my books, I was happy when he was happy. And he was happy with those people, and whether they're bad now, he was still happy. And that's what's important, I think. Now we move on to another of the feelings. I wrote down love because I didn't really know how to explain it, but I'm going to. Because I didn't know any other word for it, to be fair. So it's love. I know that sounds cringe, but let me explain. It felt like he was an old friend you knew, who was there when you needed him, and when you needed comfort, closure, and just overall wanted to be happy. He was there. He felt more like a friend rather than just an influencer on YouTube. So, weirdly enough, yes, love. Maybe that is the right word to say. Maybe there's a different one that I just don't know. It could be admiration as well, but I don't think so. So I'm just going with what I think is right now. We also have grief. He was the most powerful loss I've felt and experienced, because I have experienced death before, but I never really cried or felt that sad about it. But with him it was weird, because I was in a depressive state for so long after I found out he was dead. I cried daily, and I was angry, I was sad, and confused, because why him? Why him? Literally. And he made me realize how sudden and permanent death actually is. Because I always thought, like, maybe it's a joke. Even if it's a cruel joke, maybe it's a joke. But it isn't. Now we move on to how I got to meet, aka discover his channel. I watched him since I was a young child, and I saw his early Skywars videos and followed him since then, because I liked Minecraft at the time. I mean, I did play on, like, my PS4 with, like, split screen, but, I liked Minecraft at the time, and I always wanted to be like, oh, I wanted to play on a server as well, but as you know, it's not possible on a PS4, sadly. Not sure if it is now, but back then it wasn't. So yeah, I liked his content, and then I just, subscribed. Sometimes I followed his career more closely and sometimes more loosely, but the time where I actually watched him on a regular basis was in 2017 until then, 2022. I still watch him now, and he makes me happy, and I think this might sound very arrogantly, but you can take it however you want to. I take it with pure intentions, as I said in the beginning. But I think his death was the final push to start my YouTube channel. Since I saw a video of his, I think it was called, like, How to YouTube, and back then, when I watched it, he said, just do it, even if you sound like a squeaky child, just do it. And a few years after I actually did start a YouTube channel, this was this one, but I deleted the video because I felt a bit embarrassed. Because I was always like, what if I'm not good enough, I don't want to risk it. But then when he died, I think that was my realization. I should just risk it and not be afraid to do it. Because, like he said, like the legend himself said, no matter how ridiculous the odds may seem, within us resides the power to overcome these obstacles and achieve something beautiful. So, I thought, why not start a YouTube channel? And since then it has been going great. I know I'm not the best, of course I'm not. I'm not good at PvP, and I'm not good at cutting videos either, so excuse me if I say a lot of in this video, because it is an emotional video for me. He is and always will be a legend, no matter what, after all. And he'll forever have a special place in my heart. And whether I knew him in real life or not, he did feel closer, like a friend, rather than a YouTuber, like I said before, because he was relatable. And I share a lot of personality traits with him, and that made me like his content and his personality even more. So, yes, that's why I followed him in the first place. And now the final message. I know this was a very heavy video for New Year's, but you go out with a boom now. And despite everything, I would have chosen every lifetime to be his fan. Knowing the outcome, knowing the hurt it would cause me and many others, I would have done it again for him. Let's be real. And I know you're not supposed to have regrets, because we all have regrets, I know that, but you're not supposed to hang on to them. It's the same with like bitter feelings or like negative feelings. Hanging on to something from the past is not going to help you in the future at all. I know that as someone, as you guys might know, who studied psychology and is currently, in college for that. So try to let go of your negative feelings, sadness, regrets that you have in your past. Focus on your future. And again, I'm not here to replace him. I couldn't and I wouldn't even want to. He was unique and he is irreplaceable. I'm just here to keep his legacy alive and grow as my own person and growing my own journey as a YouTuber. So I'm happy if you would like to join me on that journey. So yeah. This was such a hard video to make. I hope you still enjoyed it regardless, and leave a like and of course subscribe to the legend himself and keep Technoblade's legacy alive. Yes, this video made me very sad, so I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.